The pervasive poverty encourages a rent culture. I've described the rent culture. And I like the late Adeni, who said, I put you in power. If I say, give me this small 14, this thing, you say, and nothing happened to him. I clap for him. I clap for him because of his honesty. Because of his honesty. A leader is one who emerges from the people and is able to go back to the people. How many politicians are able to go back to their homes after the office? Abuja has become the domain for retired politicians. I'm preparing to go there. Politicians show metallic arrogance and residual militarism, as do the electorate. Of course. I hope you know you're part of the problem. In fact, you are 70%. Because those who are doing this are less than 1% of the. Okay, I'm bad with mathematics. So what? But not more than 10% of Nigerian population. Those who are doing this. So if the rest of us 90, please include me on your side. Besides that, these things will happen again. It will happen. But if you continue to stay in your house, what will happen? The 10% of which I'm partially there now, will continue to benefit from the huge resources that Nigeria has. That is the problem. That's why I say you're also part of the problem. Now, so rather than the leadership serving people, there is perpetual servitude and gratitude among the literate, where token acts of governance are celebrated and the politician treated as a demigod for fulfilling a fraction of his or her constitutional duty. See what Prof has done. Oh, you go to River State, what has done. That is my responsibility. I am paid for it, free car, free fuel, free everything. Yeah. To do that small duty. And on top of it, anyway, go to River State, Governor Amechi and education, Governor Amechi and health. What was I elected to do? Election. What was that? So when, in fact, you perform or your professor performs his function of teaching, and I say education is not how conducive that the environment is. It is the capacity or the ability of government or the teacher to transfer knowledge from his head to that of the next man. Okay. So when your professor does that, does he call us to come downstairs for commissioning ceremony? But politicians gather people to come and a bit bad. You see, as the governor comes, we see a phrase, be the man of the people. People will be jumping and dancing and shaking that. Poor people who do not have eaten. And on top, they will contribute for the governor to even eat their food. Then he will leave. And then hunger will come in and visit you. And none of you will be celebrating the government for just laying his constitutional. Those celebrating do so either because they have been beneficiaries, some of them, not all, or hope to be beneficiaries, not completely. There are those who merely just want to see, because we mystify governance and governorship. So when you mystify it, the people look up to a God who is coming. If they tell you Jesus Christ has come here now, and his people are not dying, won't you want to go to Jesus Christ? Now, they try to create that impression that, yes, we're not Jesus Christ, but we are next to, when you have proportion, they say, government is next to God. When, who should be next to God? The people, from where they derive their... For the literate, with a wounded side, these parts of brilliance are rare, and so far between that, they are almost equated with the miracle. So when you hear, oh, Amechi is doing it's like a miracle. So people want to identify with that miracle. Ours has become a quality of self-interest, not statesmanship. For most of us in power, even the best of us, the inability of the state to hold us accountable. Now, you know who is the state? Who is the state? So you think the state is state government. So I wonder how the state government can hold the state government accountable. And the fact that we lack the relevant institutions to guarantee integrity and enforce the rule of law. And that reminds me, when we talk about integrity, of this, that this big deal that's going around, of a Nigerian who saw how much they say $1 million and picked it up, and they asked him, and he called the radio house and said, DJ, he said, yes, I have seen $1 million. He said, yes, and it belongs to XYZ that he go in. He said, yes, so I mean, you want to return it. They talk about the grace. I beg, I'm here to make a request. Play for me. Play. this money, what's my benefit? The highest man will give me is 10,000 naira. Oh, no, this is my money for now, henceforth. If you're born again, they say you go to church, blessings of Almighty God. God has blessed me, I was just walking from nowhere, somebody met me and said, it's money from God. That's not the way God gives money. I've been the beneficiary of God's blessings, and I'm going to come in a very decent and honest manner. Okay, so I said institutions to guarantee integrity and enforce the rule of law allows us to govern more commonly by the rule of our atomies, and those of our supporters, or at best, rule of thumb. Democratic governance in Nigeria is rooted in the centralized, clientelistic nature of politics described above. The elite, and that includes many of those of us in this room, many of us here are elites, I hope you know. So when you are talking about corruption and you think you're not involved, you are all of us are part of the problems of Nigeria. We constitute that 10% we are talking about. But people don't know, they just say, oh, Amechi is the problem. If you and I, who are the problem, ask yourself, how many of the people from my village are able to sit here and listen to the government? How many? How many can afford the school fees of this university? Okay, let's even assume that the school says it's free of charge. How many can afford transport from Uliba, my village, to this place? If you have that capacity, the ability to afford transport to this place, you constitute. That's another definition of who an elite is. But in Nigeria context, you constitute the elite. Democratic governance in Nigeria is clear. I've said the elite, and that includes many of those of us in this room, misappropriate considerable public funds for their personal gain. And this will remind me what I said, and it caused a lot of problem on TV and internet. When I said to youths, they called me and they saw me as a role model and they want me to speak to them. And I said, the topic you chose, the kind of way you have behaved, just indicate one thing. All they're saying is, teach us how to come in. Join you in the topic. Not how to root you out and change the system. Going to be able to change the system, you must be a change agent. And you must crystallize honesty. And honesty is not gotten on religious grounds. If you bring Bishop Desmond to Nigeria, he's either swept out or he will join the church. Because the system itself has institutions that encourages. If he tries to stop it, then he will be thrown out. But if he joins, they clap for him. You know that? I said again that this model is symptomatic of a broader overarching democracy and governance problems in Nigeria, which relates to the oligarchy control of political power, both formal and informal. This control of political power by an unaccountable political elite contributes to patterns of inefficient centralization, a dearth of meaningful representation within the political system, and a culture of impunity. I will get to impunity, remind me, practical, that dates back to military rule. The result of this, of course, is the yawning gap between the rulers and the ruled, and the rich and the poor, the vulgar display of wealth by a tiny few. You see that, right? Yes. It's worse in Lagos. Yes. People now use yachts, helicopter to go from the going to VI. Just imagine how else you abuse the people. How else? See your money. People are trekking and looking for food for the next day. To go from your house in VI to Ikoyi, you are flying a helicopter. Or to go from your house to the airport, you are flying a helicopter. Or a yacht. And people are watching you. And the people are so intimidated by poverty that they will be waving at you. The national result of which is the general dissatisfaction and cynicism regarding governance. The big security challenge. The Popular African proverb, as long as, and I want you to put this in quotes and underline it, as long as your neighbor is hungry, your chickens are safe. So if you want your chicken to be safe, make sure your neighbor is able to eat. For me, some of the question of the growing security challenges in Nigeria, whether you are discussing the OPC, APC, IPC, Niger Delta militants, MASOP, the same equation, hunger and poverty, the economic challenges that government facing us. The apparent display of wealth by the leadership, which against the poverty among the majority of Nigerians, has led to growing sentiments of injustice, providing ready fuel for those who want to manipulate all kinds of sentiments, whether ethnic or religious. The fact that Nigerians, by the way, not 70, 71% according to the statistics, provided by the relief of statistics. What do that? They said 71% of Nigerians are poor. In the 70s, 30% of Nigerians were poor. So instead of reducing it, we are rather increasing. So say 70 or maybe even 80%, but I think let's go by the statistics, they say 71% of Nigerians are poor. Who live on less than $1 a day can hear their leaders discuss wastage and brazen theft of trillions of naira. And the culprits appear to get away on staff, directly threatens an already fragile polity. Do you know what I mean? As good governance continues to be found lacking by the majority of Nigerians who need without access to basic public services, faith-based groups and other organizations are now filled in the void. Is it like that? How many of you are Christians? How many of you go to church every Sunday? You see? I said earlier that as our country continues to improve, that's when you see religion begins to take the back seat. Because the only reason, two reasons why people go to church. Two reasons. I make sense. Poverty and long life. What? Listen to yourself when you pray.
I doubt it.
Listen to yourself when you pray. There's a friend of mine, an older friend of mine, who said to me that the man starts by saying to God, please God, give me food. God provides food. God, please now, God, please give me power. God gives you, not that gives you power as politician. God gives you power. You are not a big man. Say, God, please now, please give me food, give me long life. God, they give you coke. Say, no, it's more sugar. God, there's alcohol, please. God, please. When you didn't have any of this, how many of you entered the Okada Airlines? You're too young. Those days we used to enter. As soon as money came, that plane was to crash. We'll get to the debates. So I said, in a such a situation, government finds that it reduces moral high ground to demand good citizenship for these people. When government is able to provide, all of you are government, I don't know. Not every elite in Nigeria on this road is government. You know why? Government is not able to provide power, so you provide power. Even the poor provide what they call a pass my neighbor generator. Government is not able to provide security, so you hire mala. Government is not able to provide a hospital for you, so you go to the nearest clinic, and those clinics are just malaria. Then government is not able to provide roads, so you pave your frontage roads. You can't cement and this is just grass. Government is not able to provide water for you. You have borehole. So everybody you meet is a local government. So you're the chairman of your own. It is only the poor that cannot be even a councilorship unit. Because what we do is that they live by faith. They live by faith on a daily basis. And that God will answer our prayers. So I think that this consciousness that propels government to act in the best interest of the electorate all over the world, knowing that their survival of the electorate is keenly linked to the ability of the state to maintain moral authority and control. In Nigeria, especially at sub-national level, there are conscious attempts by the governors to stand on some moral high ground. It's debatable, it's open to debate. While corruption and issues around it may remain a challenge, it's obvious that our democratic experience is witnessing some changes. That's correct. You will not deny that there are changes currently. Not maybe because the governors and politicians have come to the reality of the fact that you either do something now or will be consumed by the inability of government to function. So there are changes, and the people are a bit impatient to even notice that those changes are taking place. With an electorate that has become even more vocal and recent happenings around the world, with the rise of social media and the obvious emphasis being placed on performance, there is no doubt that our democracy is witnessing a gradual deepening, even though it is so slow. My suggestion is that there is a lot that institutions like yours can do to encourage good governance and accountability. After all, you are also responsible for the training of the elites and provide many of the consultants that government uses. Yeah. Those who help to run that government come for this class with everybody is dying. That's what I call government by proposal. That's a long time. I have a proposal for you. In fact, we can get power all over the state by solar. In fact, I can show you the picture of what they have done in China. Knowing that if you want to go to China, you think about 13, 14 hours of flight. So let me see the proposal. So I'll see. So you can have this, and then somebody can look at it. Minute. Then you go to the person. Listen, is $500 million, $500 million. I will give you 100. God, the man is just new. But when I write the proposal, I will write the memo to the governor. Yes, you can approve. Everywhere will be light. Approve. They bring the 500 million, gives his own 100. He tells the Akadajela, they want you to have 50 there. Maybe the Akadajela takes his own 50. It's left with 350. He starts with 50 million, starts putting small poles. Then let's say he compares with 300. You direct it to capital. That's him say, yes, sir. He can't do it because he's already compromised. So you've lost $500 million. So they all come from us, all of us. Including you, I'm not exempting myself. Because if I was the governor, maybe I would like to propose that now. I think that's why you're also responsible for training of the elite and providing of this for the government. Your aversion to corruption and insistence on corporate governance will go a long way in our fight to sanitize equality. Final thoughts. What are my thoughts? Security goes beyond military and paramilitary issues. Health, food, environmental, political, and economic security are all part of the nation's security system. Two of us. I have said that consciously the elites, I've used the word government, visit the poor with social, political, and economic violence. How do you know? My long essay was on violence. You visit the people with political, social, and economic violence. What do you expect from them?
Reactions.
What are the reactions? Physical violence. That's the production of MASOP. That's how MASOP came up. That's how OPC. That's how Alaye. That's how Boko Haram. Niger Delta militants. All of them are spreading on different ideologies. I'm fighting for Niger Delta youths. In fact, let me tell you, when I assumed office, I could clearly say that I'm not claiming credit, but somehow I must have contributed to the elimination of that act. People latching on the so-called Niger Delta injustice to Niger Delta from all sorts of things. I'm about the criminals who are shooting and killing people. Killing who? Niger Delta people. That's how you know it's not ideological.